All right, folks, welcome back to Super Smash TV here on GG Speedruns. And boy, oh boy, that last match that we just saw, I have never in my life seen Mutoid Man wildly swing races like we saw between CHX42 and Teleo1. I'm LZ Cardsman23, and we got a very interesting situation here because this next match is our very own Mr. Dino taking on Sigmafan here in this elimination showdown. Whoever wins this moves on to the 5th round of the second chance bracket. They will take on either J-Pop for Life or ET Go Ham. The loser will be eliminated from the tournament. So in these matches, I will be calling all of the action, but after every race, I will be talking to Mr. Dino, who's here in the commentator's booth. We'll ask him what went right, what went wrong, and we'll see how this goes. This should be a lot of fun, but we're going to get this bad boy started here. Good luck to both of these runners, and we'll see who does the winning and who is going to get sent packing. Good luck. All right, so here we go with game number 1 between Mr. Dino and Sigmafan. This should be a good race, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Mr. Dino, you want to talk about the definition of consistency. That has been Mr. Dino all of these years. In the last 3 years, he's finished 3rd, 4th, and 4th in the Super Smash TV tournament. So he's going to have to win this one to keep that streak going. We'll see how this plays out here. We got a nuke. Dino uses it and uses it well and is going to have the whole shot on Sigmafan. Got himself a high 39, a mid 40 for Sigmafan, so it's about a 2/3 of a second lead for Mr. Dino going in to collect power-ups. They're going to be looking for the orb. They're going to be looking for rockets and spreaders. They're going to be looking for goodies here. We'll see what kind of goodies they get. It's a spreader for Mr. Dino versus an invulnerability for Sigma. So advantage now for Dino as he gets back-to-back spreaders, which should serve him well, but here's an orb now for both runners as they both get it pretty much at the same time, and now the vitamin R is going to be flowing for Mr. Dino, so he's going to have the advantage. He should have the lead coming out of this room, and indeed he does. This is going to be a great time as well. A 78 into Eat My Shrapnel, a good time nuke there for Sigma. She'll be about 5 seconds back. So here we go. Ooh, Sigma almost getting a little bit too close to the swarmers there. Dino getting rockets and a razor shield to start Eat My Shrapnel. As you know, it's 18 of the Mr. Shrapnels that you have to take out. No more than 4 can be on the screen at that given point. And once that happens, you start to bleed time. Ideally, you're looking for 42.5 seconds as the exit time out of this room in total. So, Mr. Dino could come out of there with about a 2-minute flat time. It'll be a 2:01 for Mr. Dino. Sigmafan with a 2:05. It is a 4-second lead for Mr. Dino. The nuke to start here in Total Carnage, followed by a foot. Invulnerability for Sigma. She can ignore that drop, try to keep control of the middle. Ooh, using the orb to block the piece of shrapnel that was coming toward her there, and gets a razor shield on the feet. A great drop for Sigma. She should be able to keep control of the middle, but not to be outdone. Our very own Mr. Dino gets a razor shield himself. Not in as good of a spot as Sigma, but it'll do the job just nicely. Sigma ignores the spreader. Mr. Dino ignores the nuke. They're just trying to keep control of the middle of the room, keep the kill count high, but there's a grenade on the feet there for Mr. Dino, and a lot of that razor shield just melted right before our eyes. But no matter, this is the end of the room for Mr. Dino. He still has the lead with a 2:57, an excellent time. Sigmafan has a 3:01. It is still a 4-second lead going into the bonus room. Both of these runners so far playing cleanly throughout the arena. We'll see if they can keep it up in Tank Trouble, the most dangerous room in the game, because one thing that we didn't talk about in the first match is that the spawn rate of the swarmers is exactly the same rate as you would see in an Arena 3 room. So this first drop for both of these runners going to be crucial here. It's a rocket, not in a great spot for Dino, but he does make the grab. So advantage Mr. Dino here in Tank Trouble. A foot for Sigma, nothing there. So gonna have to do a lot of dancing here, try to keep control of the middle and focus on that gunner. But here's a razor shield, good grab there for Sigma. Now can focus on that last gunner, keep control of the middle of the room. Dino also getting a razor shield, so both these runners doing a very good job, and they're getting some very good weapons to help them out. But Dino, not much of that razor shield's left. Sigma still has 3/5 of the razor shield left to go, so both these runners in good shape, and that's the end of the room for Mr. Dino with a 4:05, a beautiful time for Mr. Dino. Has a chance to PB if it rolls right for him. Sigma, not quite getting the same quality of weapons, but still only 9.5 seconds back. Anybody's game going into the Mutoid Man fight, and they both have PB potentials here. We'll see what happens here. So, ballbuster chance for Dino. It is converted. So, the ballbuster is successful. It's a 42% form damage that you do with that orb. Sigma forgone the ballbuster because the first drop was a spreader and did the trick to get that little bit of extra damage as they both have the first arm popped off. We are pretty much tied at this juncture, and they both have a lobber. But now here's a spreader for Dino, has to do it manual and immediately gets run over. So a chance here for Sigma to take the lead here as the second arm pops off for both of these runners. Sigma almost out of lobbers, gonna need to see a weapon here. Tries for the Telio here, gets a lobber. Dino can't get to that lobber. He gets run over. He is blocked. So that is a bad break there for Mr. Dino as Sigmafan takes the lead here as the rib cage is exposed. So Mutoid Man giving Dino a few fits here. Sigma gets a lobber here, but Dino very much still in this one. They're on the same form, and they both have lobbers. Head pops off for Sigma. Now she's got rockets. Head pops off for Dino. This is still anybody's game. This has been close the entire game. It is still close as we go to final form on Sigmafan. She's almost out of lobbers, though. Now she needs a weapon. Final form for Dino. They both have grenades. So a very slight advantage for Sigma. It's an empty drop. Lobbers for Dino. The advantage goes to Dino. Lobbers for Sigmafan. It's going to come down to who can nail these shots. It's Dino who comes from behind. A very, very close game, though. Holy smokes. Dino is going to prevail by seconds. The time is 6:12. Sigmafan's time is 6:13 or 6:14. It is a second and a third, approximately. It is Mr. Dino who barely takes it. What a game. That was close. Dino, your thoughts?
My thoughts? Oh boy. it's crazy to see myself playing. For those of you that don't know, again, since we couldn't schedule a proper time, we both did this under Brysol's supervision, and we just stitched it together so that we could present it. And it's crazy. It's crazy to see yourself running. You can see a little bit of things that I could have done different, maybe, or not. But I'm happy I took game one.
I must say, that empty drop, Sigmafan was without a weapon on that final form just long enough to take that game away from her. And then I think the difference, though, was you were landing your shots. You were landing your shots on Mutoid Man there, Dino. And I think that was that with the little bit of time that Sigma didn't have a weapon on that final form, you put those two pieces of the puzzle together. I think that was just enough for you to pull this one off.
Yeah, right there at the very end, it was pretty much the same weapons as well, like grenades going into the final phase, followed for lovers for both. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it was just landing a little bit more shots, and that was the second of the difference right there.
Yeah, it was a very close game. Yeah, no mistakes from either of you in arena gameplay. You both played it cleanly. You both got some great drops as well. Mutoid Man doing Mutoid Man things, and it's a very close victory for you, Mr. Dino. We'll see what happens in game number 2. We're going to see how it plays out. So get ready. Game number 2 is going to be underway. All right, good luck to both of these runners here as game number 2 is going to be underway. right, they both have their razor shield manipulations here. Sigma taking control of the middle. Dino moving all over the place, just trying to get the best positions where he can keep the kill count high. And it is going to be Mr. Dino once again with the whole shot here. And it's going to be a very good time as well. Take a look at this one. This is going to be a high 39, and Sigma has a high 41. So it's a 2-second lead now for Mr. Dino going into collect power-ups. Ooh, look at this, an orb for both of these runners now in collect power-ups. Sigma might have gotten that as a first drop. Dino got that as a second drop. Also has a razor shield to go with that orb too, so could be advantage Dino coming out of collect power-ups. There's a spreader for Sigma. Not in a great spot though. Dino is done with the room. Look at this time. It's a 75 into Eat My Shrapnel, I beg your pardon. Sigmafan has a high 121. We'll call it a 6-second lead. Maybe 6 1/4. Razor shield to start for Sigma here in Eat My Shrapnel. There goes the swirl. So both these runners are in fine shape, but Sigmafan with the razor shield should have no problem keeping this under control. Dino just down to the Mr. Shrapnels. Sigmafan down to the Mr. Shrapnels as well. So I would imagine the 6-second lead will stay intact. It's a $1.58 for Mr. Dino. The short-range grenades is probably gonna, that will cost Sigmafan maybe 1/4 of a second. It's about a 6.5-second lead now for Dino. Good rocket grab there for Sigma to start Total Carnage. Dino gets some vitamin R of his own, keeping that kill count high. Both these runners keeping control of the middle of the room. They're doing a very, very good job here. The weapons do run out for both players now, and the weapons have gone dry for both players. It's a key for Sigmafan and a key for Mr. Dino as well. But it's one of those Total Carnages where there's just a battle of attrition. Try to keep control of the middle of the room. Try to keep the kill count high. A late razor shield for Sigmafan. It's going to be close. I still think it's going to be a Dino lead, but we'll see. Nice nuke there for Dino. It ended the room and he didn't realize it, but hey, a 252 is a 252. That is a great time into the bonus room for Mr. Dino. But Sigmafan, that's a great time too. They both have sub 3 into the bonus room. It's a 7-second lead for Dino. Sigma does have half a clip of spreaders left. Two outstanding times, two great performances here so far in game number 2. Mr. Dino with the 7-second lead. Let's see what happens. Rockets on the feet for Dino, man. He is living large right now. Our very own Mr. Dino off to a great start. Another spreader waiting for Sigma. Can focus on one gunner. Now is going to have to deal with another gunner as the spreaders run out. There's invulnerability for Dino. Can ignore tank bullets, but that's about it. A rocket for Sigma in a pretty bad location. Good grab, though. So the vitamin R could keep that kill count high. Vulnerability. Another rocket is a tough grab. Great grab for Sigma and avoids the purple shirt to keep the orb intact. It is still going to be a Dino lead with a 404. Sigmafan getting a little bit cornered, but keeps it under control and keeps herself in the running. The shrapnel does explode, but is only down by 9.5 seconds. It was a 9.5-second deficit in game. Oh, and Dino gets picked off by the bullet and will lose the chance at the ball buster. It was a 9.5-second deficit, so deja vu. An empty drop for Sigma, so now she can focus on the ball buster here. Let's see if she can get it. Nope, it's flexed, but we'll get a spreader, unfortunately. Ooh, but gets an invulnerability, and it's an empty drop for Mr. Dino as the first arm pops off. Sigma, out of invulnerability, has the first arm popped off. Doesn't have this. Oh, this is a great spreader for Sigmafan. This is exactly what she needs to get back into this match. There goes the second arm. We could see a glitch to it. Another spreader, but can't die for this one. So she's going to be looking for an invulnerability and gets run over immediately. And gets another spreader. Look at this, you guys. It's going to be final form here. Final form there for Sigmafan. She will get that library. There is still one gunner attached, by the way. The gunners do not have to be destroyed by the end of the fight. They'll be destroyed once the rest of Mutoid Man is destroyed, but does get the gunner down anyway. Sigmafan is going to cruise, absolutely cruise, with a 538. That was a phenomenal run there for Sigmafan. She wins handily. What a job by Sigmafan. Great drops, unbelievable drops. I tell you, Sigma was not far away from her PB. Her PB is a 532. So she was within 5 seconds of a new PB right there. That was just a crazy good run there from Sigma. Final form now for MrDino, man. Just not really getting the drops here against Mutoid Man. So we're definitely going to be seeing a game number 4. As Dino's just going to be wrapping up this fight here. And there it is. So it's going to be a huge victory. It was a 9.5 second lead for MrDino, and he's going to end up losing by well over a minute. It's going to be a 6:51. So 74 seconds. That is an 83-second swing. 83-second swing, MrDino.
Oh boy, what can I say? A 404 entry turns into a 651. I did make a couple mistakes though. I remember Brysov said, like, when you see the swirl, just hit it with everything you have. And I was just trying to save shots. I just hit it with one rocket, and then the swirl comes and kills me. And then I took a late dead for a spreader that I saw in the top left corner, and I couldn't grab it. And those two errors just made that fight, I think, potentially a sub 6 to like a 650 something. I still think I would have lost though.
I mean, yeah, Sigma, there was nothing. I don't think there was much you could do about that, Dino. Sigmafan just got all the goods in Mutoid Man, turned in an immaculate performance there. It ended up being, what, about an 84-second Mutoid Man fight? Yeah, 84-second Mutoid Man fight for Sigmafan. I mean, there's not much you can do about this. If you don't get those kind of drops when your opponent throws an 84 against Mutoid Man, really not much you can do about it. I mean, once again, your arena gameplays, both of you, very solid, but just like we saw in the first match, Mutoid Man heavily dictated that game.
Indeed it did. But, well, I'm happy to see that it's not the arena that is taking the games. We're both playing pretty good. So let's have a look at game number 3 here.
All right, absolutely. So game number 3 coming up between MrDino and Sigmafan. We are knotted up at 1 game apiece, a pivotal game number 3 for both of these runners, because whoever wins this will have 2 opportunities to win the match. Good luck. All right, here we go. Game number 3 between our very own MrDino and Sigmafan. We'll see what happens here. All right, both, of course, have their Razor Shield manipulations. And once again, it is going to be MrDino with the hole shot, but pretty good time for Sigmafan. Yeah, it's a mid 39 and a low 42, so 2.5 seconds is the lead now for MrDino. Going in to collect power-ups. So let's see what ends up being the drops here for, it's a nuke on the feet for Dino, grenades for Sigma, so nothing to write home about for either player. Rockets now for Dino, and then an orb to follow up with those rockets. So some good drops here. An orb for Sigmafan, though. And wisely, Dino not picking up the orb until the last moment because he wanted to conserve as much of the rockets as possible for that room, and he gets rewarded with a 78 going into Eat My Shrapnel. Sigmafan closing the room with rockets has a 123. It's a 5-second lead for Dino. Key for Dino. Sigmafan going to just ignore the grenade, keep control of the middle of the room, get the swarmers down. problems for either runner at this juncture. It's just going to be a matter of who could close this room maybe a little bit quicker. You know, if you can get a rocket drop late, that's what you ideally want to see, but no rocket for either player late. And as I say that, Sigma gets it. It's a 201 for Mr. Dino, and Sigmafan closes with a 206. So probably gained about a half a second on Dino, because it was a 5-second lead. Now it's a 4.5-second lead. Rockets to start now for Sigma. Nuke for Mr. Dino. So right now the weapon's favoring Sigma here in game number 3 in Total Carnage. Dino can ignore that invulnerability, and Sigma can ignore that key. Rockets, though, for Dino. Could give him a chance to keep his lead with good firing. And a Razor Shield will definitely help him out. Nuke for Sigma to give her a little bit of a breather. Spreader in a dangerous spot. Always a dangerous spot when it's on top of one of those mines. There's a rocket for Dino. Is that gettable? It is still gettable because the Razor Shield will block you from going to the wall. So if there's a wall, if there's a drop that is hugging the wall, you can't get it with that Razor Shield. 255, by the way, for Dino. Another spectacular time. Another sub-3 entry for Mr. Dino. Sigmafan, 11 seconds back. Again, she's not doing anything wrong. It's just that Dino's getting the better drops. Plus, he's got a half a clip of rocket to start tank trouble, so he's in really good shape. Open and drop is a nuke. Rockets are enough for Dino to take care of the gunners, but then loses his orb as the purple shirt dodges the bullet, and this is an opportunity for Sigmafan to gain some ground, maybe even take the lead, especially when you get clubbed down by a green shirt. The first real mistake we've seen, and Sigma loses her orb too, so both runners having trouble here in tank trouble in game number 3. So Sigma losing an opportunity to pick up valuable time, but does get a replacement orb. This could give her a chance to take the lead going into the Mutoid Man fight. There's a nuke. Dino has some rockets. When you have single rockets, they can be helpful. And hey, even though he lost the orb, he's got a 410. That's still a chance to PB with a good Mutoid Man fight. Sigmafan not able to really take advantage of the dropped orb on Dino's side. I think the rockets definitely help Dino here. She'll still be in the running, no doubt about it. Spreader to start for Dino. Does the little trick to get the extra damage, but then gets shot by a bullet. He will not get to that lobber. Rockets for Dino. Sigma will do the same thing, forego the ball buster, get the opening little salvo of Spreader, but then get shot immediately. So we'll see what ends up happening for... Oh my god, another Spreader for Sigma. She's been getting a lot of good Spreaders here in this Mutoid Man fight. So the first arm is popped on both sides as Sigma will change it up for lobbers. Who's going to pop the second arm first? It is going to be Mr. Dino. So Mr. Dino still has the lead. This is very, very close. Sigma will ignore the invulnerability. Dino, of course, can ignore the grenades. Oh, an empty drop for Dino. This is a chance for Sigmafan. They're both on the same form. Lobbers, though, for Dino. Very, very close here. Head pops off first for Mr. Dino, and nice grab of the rockets there for Sigma, but she is still trailing. Head pops off now for Sigma. They both have lobbers. Right now, advantage Dino. But then gets run over and has no weapon at the moment. So Sigma has a chance to take the lead. And that was an empty... No, it's a grenade. Final four for Sigma. She has taken the lead. Oh, what a grab from Sigma. Just avoiding the Mr. Shrapnels there. Final four for Dino. Great spreader. Wrong time of the fight, though, unfortunately for him. Sigma's been missing some shots. It is enough. Sigmafan is going to win game number 3, edging out Mr. Dino and erasing that deficit. Holy smokes, Mutoid Man once again doing Mutoid Man things, and Sigmafan wins this one and finds herself at double match point. 6:21 plays a 6:30, a 9.5-second victory for Sigmafan. Dino, you had the lead again, but this time, tank trouble got you both.
Yeah, I got us indeed, and even then, I had the lead on Mutoid Man, And that's it. When I got run over, it was just me trying to go way too fast. And I think that also affected me because I missed the drop, and then Sigma took the lead. Still pretty good though. I mean, a couple of errors here and there. That's what happens. And now it is 2-1 in Sigma's favor.
Almost certainly is. So, Mr. Dino, our very own Mr. Dino, on the ropes here. Mr. Consistency, who has been in the top 4 the last 3 years, but finds himself 1 loss away from an unexpected early exit. Let's see if Dino can take this game number 4 and force a decider, or if Sigmafan can advance deeper into that second chance bracket. We'll see what happens in game number 4.
People that are asking how am I talking without moving my mouth. I'm a ventriloquist.
I was just about to say the same thing. See, he's a ventriloquist. He can do that. The guy's an extraordinaire. He can run the stream, he can race, and he can commentate all in the same time. That's how amazing Mr. Dino is here. But he's going to have to pull off one more magical trick here, actually 2 more magical tricks here if he wants to keep his hopes of being in this tournament alive and well. Game number 4 underway between Mr. Dino and Sigmafan. This is a must-win for Mr. Dino. He must win the next 2 or his tournament life has come to an end here in our 8th annual Super Smash TV tournament. Oh, Sigma missed the nuke by 1 foot soldier. That's going to be a time penalty. A good low 40 there for Mr. Dino. It'll be a mid 42 for Sigmafan. Ah, so close from making that a perfect nuke there. 1 swarmer too early. And a first drop orb for Mr. Dino, just what he needs when he's down 2-1, and then gets a Razor Shield. Does he complete the Holy Trinity? No. It's an invulnerability instead. He does get a rocket on the 3rd attempt at completing the Holy Trinity, so we'll take that. Rockets to go with everything else here. So Dino off to the races here with a 77-second time. Sigma does get an orb followed by some rockets as well, so going to keep herself afloat. 123. So here we are in Eat My Shrapnel. 18 Mr. Shrapnels to take out. Rockets for Sigma should keep this room under control. A Razor Shield for Mr. Dino, likewise, should also keep this room under control. Ooh, Sigma getting a little bit antsy there with those green shirts there. They were dodging all the ammunition and almost lost the orb there. That could have been disastrous for Sigma. And this should do it for Mr. Dino, and it does. It is a sub 2 into total carnage. Last one for Sigma, I do believe. Yep, it's a 2:06. It's a 6, and I'd say a 1/4 second lead for Mr. Dino. So here we are in total carnage. It's a spreader for Dino, but a Razor Shield for Sigmafan, so she's got the advantage in this room to start. Gonna come down to who has the better firing lanes and maybe a little bit of luck with the weapon quality as Dino gets a spreader on the feet. These runners really haven't had much problem here in total carnage here tonight. They've played it smoothly. They've had good drops. They've kept control of the middle. Nothing really too concerning for either runner here in total carnage tonight. And here's some rockets for Sigmafan, a midway Razor Shield for Dino, and is going to use it like a weapon because it was so late in the room. More Vitamin R for Sigmafan. Will she have any to take with her? Ooh, grenades on the feet. Another 255 for Mr. Dino into the bonus room. And Sigmafan has a 302, so both very, very good times into the bonus room, but no weapon for either player into tank trouble. So pretty much an even Steven total carnage room for both of these runners here. It is anybody's game. This weapon right here going to be crucial for both. Granted that it's any kind of weapon. Let's see what happens. Spreader for Dino, not too shabby. Not going to really focus on the gunners, though. Gets another spreader, a foot for Sigma, so definitely advantage Dino. Nice nuke there for Sigma. Second gunner is down. Dino still having to deal with the second gunner. The purple shirt's getting a little bit too close on Sigma's side. Nice dodge of the bullets there on Sigma's side as well. Second gunner goes down on Mr. Dino's side as well. So both so far so good in this tank trouble room. Rockets though for Dino should increase his lead. Tell you, Sigma's done a great job. Her movement's been pretty fluent here in tank trouble, but it is still going to be Mr. Dino with the lead once again, going into the Mutoid Man fight with a great 408. Sigmafan with a nuke coming up. She should use it right now. Boom. Great tank trouble for her, 417. So once again, a 9-second lead for Dino going into the Mutoid Man fight, and they both have a ball buster opportunity. Let's see what happens. Dino, no, does not get the ball buster. Will pick up the lobbers. Rockets for Sigma. She can focus on the gunners, then go for the ball buster. Sigma gets the ball buster, so Sigma does take advantage. First arm pops off for Mr. Dino, and it's an empty drop and a spreader for Sigmafan. Ooh, will she get to it in time? Yes. So she can go to town on this one. Lobbers are waiting for her. Oh, she gets run over. Will she get to this in time? Yeah. Lobbers now for Dino, but Sigma has taken the lead. As the rib cage is exposed, it's more than a full form lead right now for Sigmafan. As the second arm pops off now for Dino. Sigmafan looking real good as the rib cage is exposed. That lead has grown to 2 full forms. All right, take that back. It's 1 full form, but there's an empty drop for Sigma. There's a lobber, but this is giving Dino a chance, but he's out of weapon. It's rockets, slow DPS, and we're on the same form, and a spreader! Final form for Sigma. This spreader could be enough for Dino to steal this one. Final form for Dino. If he got the transfer damage, it's his. Needs another weapon. He did get the transfer damage, and Dino hangs on. That immaculate spreader is going to allow Dino to see a game number 5. Another immaculate spreader. Do I hear immaculate spreader part 5, ladies and gentlemen? Look at that. Less than 4 seconds difference. Dino, that spreader saved your life.
Indeed it did. And Culio is on the chat and he remembers what happened before on our match. Well, that's how the game goes. I mean, Sigma got a crazy good spreader at the start. I got it at the end, and that's how you want to play like the arena as best as you can and just take advantage of all the opportunities that the game gives you. But it is now game 5, and I want to say that regardless of whatever happens, pretty happy that I was able to fight Sigma. Sigma is a crazy formidable opponent. And last time we faced off, it was on the normal tournament, and I took the victory. So let's see what happens here.
Absolutely. I mean, Sigmafan had a real good fight. I mean, there was a short time where she had an empty drop, and that maybe if that wasn't an empty drop, she could have hung on by a second or two. But yeah, that spreader, that was enough. You didn't get full transfer damage at the end there, but you got enough to get the job done.
Enough indeed. You really like one. That's probably my favorite spreader when you see it on the transfer damage.
Oh yeah, because then you can easily get the final form done just in a couple of seconds. Boom, you win. End of story. But it all comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. The decider. Game number 5 for all the marbles. Win, you advance to the 5th round of the second chance bracket. Lose, and it's all over for you. Here we go. So we both have the razor shield manipulation here. They both have a foot at the exact same spot. Dino grabs it, which is something he advertised to us during our first match as a play that he would make. A nuke. Ooh, that was not the right time for a nuke there for Dino, and it's going to be Sigmafan with the whole shot here in game number 5. So She's got the lead by about a second and a half. So for the first time tonight, it is Sigmafan with the whole shot coming out of collect power-ups, as Dino is the one mistiming a nuke to try to close out the room. And vulnerability for Sigma, grenades for Dino, nothing to write home about for either runner. A spreader now for Sigma, and a second drop orb for Dino is going to give him the opportunity. Another foot for Sigma. And another foot for Sigma. So right now, Dino with the advantage, a nuke for Sigma. Just not getting the drops here. So yeah, Dino is definitely going to have the lead coming out of this room. Just absolutely brutal luck here for Sigma. It's going to be a 124. I mean, Sigma's not all that far back at 127, but she's going to need to see an orb here, or she could be in massive trouble going into Total Carnage. She's going to have to get some kind of weapon to keep these Mr. Shrapnels under control here. A foot is not going to do it. Dino doing a fine job here, even though he's not really getting weapons either. Doesn't need a weapon. There's a rocket. That's going to keep Sigma afloat for the time being, but she's still going to want to see that orb soon. A Razor Shield, that's a bad drop. Well, she's going to grab it anyway because she wants that orb. It's an invulnerability. End of the room for Dino, it's a 207. End of the room for Sigma, it's a 209. But she is without an orb, and the longer she goes without an orb, she could be in massive trouble. Could be 20 seconds back if we don't see it soon. There's a Razor Shield, but no orb to go with it. So this is going to be tough. So there's the orb. She got it just in the nick of time. That's going to keep her afloat. Boy, that could have gotten ugly real fast for Sigmafan. Dino also gets a Razor Shield and gets some rockets, so he's still going to build the lead, but that time loss is definitely going to be mitigated on Sigma's side. But if she can get some rockets here late in Total Carnage, she'll definitely be in it going into tank trouble. Grenades though on the feed for Sigma, or Dino, I beg your pardon, which is going to really lower that kill count for a little bit. So right now, definitely anybody's game. I still expect it's going to be a Dino lead, but this is going to be close. It's a 304 for Dino, and yes, that orb saved Sigma's life. She's only 4 seconds back, and I'd say for the final time tonight, for me at least, oh, Taco Bell, product placement with Taco Bell. Don't drop the chalupa and grab that Baja Blast, because we got ourselves a real slobber knocker here in game number 5. It is anybody's game. This drop is going to be crucial, pivotal for these runners. Dino gets rockets. What does Sigmafan get? She also gets rockets. Equal opportunity drops. You love to see it, but she loses the orb. It gets clipped. And this could give Dino the opportunity with a massive lead going into tank trouble if the weapons don't return for Sigma. And right now, it's the TTTT for both runners after that rocket and vulnerability. Spreader for Sigma is at least something. He gets back-to-back spreaders, but yeah, Dino is going to be building that lead, no question about it. A foot, nuke there for Dino. Not quite enough to close out the room, but still a very impressive 417 into the Mutoid Man fight. He is looking poised to take game number 5 and move on to the 5th round. Another foot for Sigmafan. She's seen way too many of those. That's the end of the room. She's definitely still in the run-in, but she is 15 and a half seconds back. Dino, successful ball buster. So things looking real good here for Dino to start the Mutoid Man fight, and has back-to-back lobbers now. Could grab the invulnerability if he wants insurance against those gunners, which he's gonna grab. Sigmafan gets lobbers to start. Which again, good consistent damage, but when your opponent, there's a spreader, not in a great spot, is, oh, a spreader for Sigma, but it's blocked. Can she get to it? Yes. But a spreader for Dino, not in the greatest of spots, but will still be able to get it and get some damage on it. As Sigma gets run over to the second arm, is popped off, but the head is popped off already on Dino because of that spreader. So Sigma's gonna need another spreader, and she needs it quick. Dino will use that, and she gets it! Empty drop for Dino. Good pickup for Sigma. It's in a perfect spot. The head should pop off. Final form should be coming. Final form, she's got the lead. She needs a weapon, though. She's down to 1 life as well. Where's the weapon? It's an empty drop. Final 4 for Dino now. Empty drop for him, too. Another empty drop. The game is taking it away from Sigma. It's a lobber. And Dino has the worst weapon in this form with the spreader. Another lobber waiting for Sigma. Oh, this is going to be so close, you guys. She's missing shots. Oh, who's going to take it? It's Sigma. Sigma wins the race. Sigma takes the match and has knocked out the 3-time top 4 contestant MrDino out of the 8th annual tournament. Wow, a 4.5-second difference. Boy, what a match. This could be the match of the tournament so far, MrDino.
Well, yeah, I knew what was going to happen. And again, I'm happy that it was Sigma that took it. I think she's done incredibly good. She's incredibly talented as well. And so far in all the tournaments, somehow luck has not been on her side. This time it was. So I just hope that she just goes the distance, because I lost my consistency to this match.
Absolutely. I mean, you played a very good match. I think your arena gameplay was maybe a smidgen better than Sigma's, but her Mutoy man luck. And I tell you what, those were 3 close races that we had. Games 1, 4, and 5 that were just absolute barn burners there. And I'm telling you, if we don't see a best of 7 match go as crazy as this one, this has a real good chance of being your match of the tournament. That's how good this one was.
That's pretty close, but we still have a couple more matches for tonight.